Welcome back, dear friends, to our sanctuary of the hidden and the profound. Tonight, we have reached a milestone together. We are standing at the end of the first long corridor of our journey. Behind us lie 19 vaults of history, and before us stands the 20th. Imagine, if you will, walking through the heavy, arched doors of Vault 20. As you cross the threshold, the very air changes instantly. The cool, damp stone of the northern cathedrals is gone. Here, the air is warm, dry, and carries the heavy, intoxicating scent of sun-baked earth, crushed jasmine, and the faint, sweet aroma of rosewater drifting on a desert breeze. In the center of the vault, resting on a plinth of deep blue lapis lazuli, is a single turquoise tile. It is glazed so perfectly that it looks like a fragment of the high noon sky fallen to earth. Next to it lies a single thread of silk, dyed a deep, impossible crimson with the juice of pomegranates. These are the building blocks of an empire that did not just build structures, but sought to recreate paradise in the middle of the wasteland. Tonight, as you settle into your deepest state of relaxation, imagine the sound of water trickling through a marble channel in a silent courtyard. Feel the symmetry of a world designed to be perfect. We are going to explore the eternal garden and the secret ways that Persian art taught the human soul to find peace in the infinite. Let us begin our final meditation of the season. 1. The subterranean silence, the Qanat. To understand the beauty of Persia, we must first go into the dark. We must go beneath the burning sands. Long before the great palaces were built, the Persians mastered the alchemy of water. They built the Qanats, thousands of miles of hand-dug underground tunnels that carried snowmelt from the distant mountains to the thirsty plains. Imagine the silence inside a Qanat. It is pitch black. The air is cool and damp. You can hear the steady, rhythmic, pulsing drip, drip, drip of water moving through the earth. This was the lifeline of the empire. This hidden water shaped the Persian mind. It taught them that true wealth is interior. On the outside, there is the desert, the heat, and the chaos. But underneath, there is a secret, cooling stream. As you relax, imagine your own mind as a Qanat. Beneath the noise of your day, beneath the heat of your worries, there is a cool, dark, silent stream of peace flowing through you. You don't need to dig for it tonight. It is already there. Just listen to the water. It is moving slowly, steadily toward the garden. You are hydrated. You are nourished. You are at rest in the dark. 2. The idea of paradise, paradisa. When that water finally reaches the surface, it creates the paradisa. This is the old Persian word for a walled garden. It is the root of our word paradise. But for the Persian, a garden was not just a collection of plants. It was a philosophy. Imagine a massive, mud brick wall. It is thick and high, shielding the interior from the stinging sand and the relentless sun. When you step through the gate, the world changes. The Chahar Bagh, or the fourfold garden, opens before you. 4 channels of water divide the space into 4 perfect quadrants. These channels represent the 4 rivers of heaven: water, milk, honey, and wine. In the center, where the rivers meet, there is always a pool or a fountain. This geometry was a map of the soul. It taught the mind that order is the highest form of beauty. By dividing the garden into perfect squares, the Persians were bringing the infinite down to a human scale. Feel the temperature drop now as you walk under the shade of a cypress tree. The tree is tall, straight, and dark green, a symbol of eternal life. The air smells of orange blossoms and wet stone. This is your sanctuary. The wall is strong. The desert is outside. You are safe in the piety Deza. 3. The Stone of Kings, Persepolis. Before the blue tiles, there was the weight of the stone. Let us travel back 2,500 years to the plateau of Fars. Imagine the city of Persepolis. It was not a city for merchants or commoners. It was a ritual city. It was built on a massive, man-made terrace, a stage made of dark gray limestone that was polished until it shone like a mirror. Picture the Gate of All Nations. 2 massive stone bulls with human heads and the wings of eagles, the Lam Asu, stand guard at the entrance. They are towering 12 feet high. Their eyes are wide and calm, watching the empires rise and fall like the tides of the sea. As you walk through the Apadana Hall, look up. The columns are 70 feet tall, as slender as palm trees. At the top of each column, 2 stone bulls kneel back to back, their heads carrying the massive cedar wood beams of the roof. When this palace was young, that wood smelled of the forests of Lebanon. Look at the walls. They are covered in thousands of bas-relief carvings. You see rows of soldiers and dignitaries from 23 different nations, all bringing gifts to the King of Kings. But notice the rhythm. It is hypnotic. Every curl in every beard is a perfect mathematical spiral. Every fold in every silk robe is carved with the same steady, patient hand. This was the Persian stillness. It was an architecture of power, but a power that found its strength in balance. As you breathe, feel the solidity of that gray stone. It is unshakable. It has survived the fire of Alexander and the winds of 2 millennia. Let that unshakable strength enter your own bones. You are a monument. You are enduring. You are still. 4. Haft Rangi, the alchemy of turquoise. As the centuries turned, the heavy stone gave way to the glow. If you travel to the city of Isfahan, you will see what the poets call Nesfe Jahan, half the world. In the center of the city lies the Shah Mosque, a sea of turquoise and cobalt blue. Why blue? In the desert, blue is the color of life. It is the color of the deep evening sky just before the stars appear. The Persians became masters of alchemy, mixing copper, tin, and lapis to create a glaze that would never fade, even under the harshest sun. Imagine standing in the center of the great courtyard. The sun is hitting the massive dome, and the light is not just reflecting off it, it is vibrating. This is the Haft Rangi, the 7-colored tile technique. Every tile is a fragment of a giant geometric prayer. Look at the way the tiles wrap around the curves of the minarets. There are no straight lines here. The geometry is fluid. It draws your eye upward in a spiral toward the center of the sky. Think of that color now, Isfahan blue. It is a color that cools the blood. It calms the intellect and speaks directly to the soul. Let that blue light wash over your mind. It is deep and quiet and infinite. You are floating in a turquoise sky. There is no horizon. There is only the glow. 5. The Qanats, the fractured light. If you look up under the arches of the great portals, you will see a miracle of geometric complexity. The Qanats, they look like honeycombs or a cave of stalactites made of tile, plaster, and mirror. This is where architecture becomes fractal. The Qanats were designed to break the light. Instead of a flat, boring surface, the light hits 1,000 different angles, creating a shimmer that feels supernatural. It was meant to represent the atomic nature of the universe, the idea that everything we see is made of tiny, interlocking pieces of the divine light. As you imagine these honeycombed vaults, feel your own thoughts beginning to break up into smaller, lighter pieces. You don't need to solve the whole of your life tonight. You only need to look at the fragments, the small, beautiful, shimmering moments. Every little cell in the Qanats is supported by the one next to it. They are interdependent, just like your breath. Every inhale supports the exhale. Every beat of your heart supports the next. You are a complex, beautiful honeycomb of existence. You are held. You are supported. You are part of the pattern. 6. The portable garden, the Persian rug. But the Persians knew that not everyone could live in a palace of blue tile. And so they invented a way to carry the paradisa with them wherever they went. The Persian rug is a microcosm of the eternal garden. Imagine a weaver, perhaps a young woman in a high mountain village, sitting before a massive wooden loom. She is working with wool that has been dyed with the roots of madder, the skins of pomegranates, and the crushed bodies of insects. Knot, knot, knot. The sound of the workshop is a steady, hypnotic thump of the iron comb. A single rug can have over 1,000,000 knots. It is an act of infinite patience. It is a meditation in wool. In the center of the rug, there is a medallion representing the sun. Around it, a forest of vines, flowers, and birds. When you sit on a Persian rug, you are sitting in a garden that will never wither. You are sitting on a map of peace. But look closer. In every true Persian rug, there is a mistake. A single knot that is the wrong color. A pattern that doesn't quite line up. This is the Persian flaw. The weavers believed that only the divine is perfect, and for a human to try to be perfect was an act of dangerous pride. Think of that flaw now. It is a release. You don't have to be perfect tonight. You don't have to have all the answers. You can be like the rug, beautiful, complex, and humanly imperfect. Feel the soft wool texture beneath you. You are resting on a million tiny knots of history. You are grounded. You are safe. You are exactly as you should be. 7. The world in a drop of ink, the miniature. Finally, before we rest, let us look at the miniature. Persian art did not just grow big, it grew small. Imagine a book no larger than your palm, made of hand-burnished paper that feels like silk. Inside are paintings created with brushes made from a single hair of a white squirrel. These are the Persian miniatures. They are windows into a world of absolute clarity. There are no shadows in these paintings. Everything is lit by a divine light. A flower in the distance is painted with the same exquisite detail as the hero's face in the foreground. This was a way of seeing the world through the eye of the soul. To the soul, space and distance do not exist. Everything is present. Everything is now. As you close your eyes, imagine your mind as one of these miniatures. Every memory, every dream, every sensation is painted in vibrant colors. The lapis blue, the malachite green, the cinnabar red. You are not far from peace. You are right here in the center of the painting. The world is small and contained and beautiful. The ink is dry. The story is complete. 8. The poetry of the stone, Rumi and Hafez in the walls. In the West, we think of poetry as something kept in books, but in Persia, the architecture is the poetry. Imagine walking along the walls of the tomb of Hafez in Shiraz. The stones are not silent. They are covered in calligraphy. The letters dance and swirl, carved into the marble or fired into the tile. These are not just names or dates, they are verses. The Persians believed that the word was the highest form of art. To them, a building was a living manuscript. When you read the walls, you are not just gaining information, you are experiencing a vibration. Think of the words of Rumi etched into a blue archway. The wound is the place where the light enters you. As you relax, imagine those words carved into the stone of your own mind. You don't need to be perfect to be beautiful. The cracks, the wounds, the flaws we spoke of earlier, those are the windows for the light. Feel the rhythm of the calligraphy. It flows like water. It rises like the cypress trees. It teaches the mind that language is not a cage, but a garden. As you breathe, let the poetry of your own life flow through you. You are a story written in stone and light. Every breath is a new line. Every heartbeat is a rhyme. You are a masterpiece in progress. 9. The Mirror Hall, Talarea Yene. Now, we step into the most surreal space of all, the Hall of Mirrors. Imagine walking into the Golistan Palace. You leave the heat of the garden, and suddenly You are standing inside a diamond. The walls, the ceilings, the pillars are covered in millions of tiny, hand-cut fragments of mirror. But they are not flat. They are set at different angles, following the Muqarnas patterns we explored earlier. This was a psychological revolution. When you stand in the center of the mirror hall, your ego is shattered into a million pieces. You don't see one reflection of yourself, you see 10,000. The Persians called this ayenekari. It was meant to show that the individual is nothing and the infinite is everything. It is a space designed to dizzy the senses and silence the analytical mind. As you lie there now, imagine yourself standing in that hall of mirrors. You are surrounded by a galaxy of reflections. Every worry, every small thought is lost in the shimmer. You are no longer one person. You are a part of a vast, sparkling, celestial dance. The light is coming from everywhere. You are weightless. You are boundless. You are light reflecting light. 10. The rhythm of the water, Persepolis. As the sun begins to set over Isfahan, we travel to the river Zayan-Derud. Here, the Persians built the Persepolis, the bridge of 33 arches. It is not just a way to cross the water, it is a meditation in stone. The bridge is designed with 2 levels. On the top, the world moves. People walk, talk, and trade. But on the lower level, right at the water's edge, there are stone alcoves. Imagine sitting in one of those alcoves at twilight. The stone is cool beneath you. The arch above you acts as a sound chamber, amplifying the rhythmic, rushing sound of the river. The Persians would sit here for hours, drinking tea and listening to the water. They believed that the sound of a river under a stone arch could wash the soul. Listen to that water now. Shh, shh, shh. It is the sound of time passing, but it is also the sound of permanence. The bridge has stood for 400 years, and the water has never stopped flowing. Feel that rhythm in your own body. Your blood is a river. Your bones are the stone arches. You are a bridge between the past and the future. You are stable. You are calm. The river is carrying away everything you don't need to hold on to tonight. Just let it flow. 11. The geometry of the spirit, paradise as a state of mind. As we reach the heart of Vault 20, we realize the greatest secret of the eternal garden. The Persians didn't build these gardens because the world was perfect. They built them because the world was hard. They built them as a spiritual technology to help the human mind survive the desert. They taught us that paradise is not a place you go to when you die. It is a place you create within yourself, through geometry, through art, and through silence. Every blue tile, every silk knot, every stone bull at Persepolis was a reminder that order exists even when we cannot see it. Think of your own inner garden now. It is walled and safe. It has the 4 rivers. It has the cypress trees of eternal life. It has the Isfahan blue sky. You don't need to travel to the desert to find it. You are the gardener. You are the architect. You are the paradise. 12. Looking back, the corridor of 20 vaults. And now, dear friends, we take a moment of reflection. Look back down the long corridor of our museum. 20 vaults, 20 secrets. We have walked through the ghostly vellum of the Voynich manuscript. We have felt the marble heartbreak of Camille Claudel. We have listened to the echoes of the great cathedrals, and we have stood in the turquoise light of the eternal garden. We have traveled through time, through madness, through genius, and through the very fabric of the human soul. And through it all, you have been here. You have been the silent witness. Each of these stories has been a knot in the rug of our first season. Some were dark, some were bright, but together they form a pattern of wonder. You have learned that the world is much bigger and much deeper than it appears on the surface. You have earned this rest. The first corridor is complete. The work of the first 20 vaults is finished. 13. Closing the first corridor, the final surrender. It is time to close Vault 20. We walk back past the lapis lazuli plinth. The turquoise tile is glowing softly in the dark. The silk threads are still. The jasmine scent is fading into the night air. We step out of the vault, and for the last time this season, we hear the heavy, rhythmic thud of the iron doors swinging shut. The corridor is dimming. One by one, the lights of the first 20 vaults are being extinguished. Vault 1, Vault 5, Vault 10, Vault 19. The museum is settling into its great sleep. The statues are quiet. The manuscripts are closed. The stone is breathing in the dark. You are the only one left in the hallway, and the hallway is safe. It is warm. It is yours. You are leaning against the wall of history, and the wall is supporting you. You don't need to hold up the world tonight. The museum will hold it for you. And so, dear friends, we leave the eternal garden and we conclude our first journey through the Museum of Secrets. We carry the turquoise within us, the symmetry, the flaws, and the silent, rhythmic pulse of the ancient world. Our first 20 vaults are sealed, but the museum is vast, and there are many more corridors yet to be explored. But that is for another time. Tonight, the only secret left is the one you find in the center of your own sleep. As you drift off, feel the wool texture of the night surrounding you. You are part of a long, beautiful, and eternal design. You have reached the end of the corridor. You are home. Sleep well, dear friends, and find rest in the heart of the eternal garden. Good night.